Welcome to the last video in the InWin ModFree series, where we're checking out the ModFree Mini. Well, this used to be Mini, now ModFree, very free and bloated, and how we've gone through different iterations of the case. In this video, we're basically going to summarize what we've done and what we got to, as well as some learnings that we found on the way. If you haven't seen the series, do check out, there'll be a playlist of it and also some links down below. Let's get into what was the last things that I've adjusted. In the previous video, we finished off with things being slightly upside down and not everything fits in the right way. What I've done, I've actually extended the case and added an additional section, one of the large sections, where now I've moved the cooler to the edge and I've installed basically additional drive cages if you want to install a bunch of drives. This is a micro ITX build. Well, this was an ITX motherboard, but also right now it's the size of a full tower case. What you can see inside here, a whole bunch of brackets. So there are these hard drive brackets like this, which can mount one 3.5 inch drive or two 2.5 inch. So they basically mount like this. Inside this case right now, we have 6 of these. And they shouldn't really interfere too much with the cooling. So you can see we've got 2 here. We have an additional 1, 2, and 3 on the other side. And we've got all the cables and tubing kind of routed in between. And if you come on the other side, next to the motherboard, next to the graphics card, there's another one here. Yes, as it stands right now, it is interfering with the screen. But the screen's gonna be covered with a panel anyway. So it doesn't really matter. This screen probably wouldn't be in most builds. But what I like about these brackets is they can actually kind of go almost anywhere around this case. So what you'll find is there's these screw holes over here, and there's 4 per side, and they're kind of even on both sides. So what you can do, you can take it, you basically slide in here like this, and you can screw in place. But if you really wanted to, you can actually flip it around from the inside. So you're kind of flexible on that front. If you really wanted to, or you had a smaller graphics card or no graphics card at all, you can install a bunch more of them here. You could basically just put it here. Or if you don't mind, obstructing the graphics card's cooling, you can just install it right here. And another one right here. So, you got options. I think the biggest limitation with this kind of design is the fact it's an ITX motherboard. But we'll get into that a bit later on. The other thing that we did, we flipped over the cooler. Now it's facing the right way and we can put all the covers on. And lastly, one of the things I didn't do, because I didn't really want to disassemble the whole system, the middle section is still upside down. Generally speaking, if you build it from scratch, you can invert it any way you like and you can adjust it. Let me just quickly close all the panels and we can see how it looks like as a finished product. And these panels go on any location you can have it. On this side, we have a glass panel as well to show you. So they kind of go anywhere and it's kind of flexible from that perspective. We've got the back panels as well. I'll just quickly close them. And the problem that we had last time was this little hole over here. And now we can just literally put a little cover on. And it's designed to close it, so that's why you can have different heights at the same time and it looks nice and clean. This case is now really unwieldy. It's really heavy. And this is what it looks like fully built. Obviously there's loads of flexibility and we'll cover that in a second. One of the things that you could have done further is moved the graphics card compartment even further back. And you could have installed additional fans just to provide even more air circulation inside the case. Let's get into the summary, go through the test results and some gotchas. So what are the lessons learned? The case offers incredible modularity, not just with the parts you get directly from InWin, but also giving you the freedom to design and 3D print your own components. I hope InWin releases design docs for people to use. From all the builds that we've done, we ran some tests to give you a reference point. Keep in mind that results will vary depending on what and how you build. That said, in the SFX form, it performed surprisingly well, better than we initially expected. During stress testing with Prime 95, the CPU reached high 80s while drawing 90 watts of power, a respectable performance for most small factor builds. However, adding GPU and running Thermark simultaneously pushed the system's overall temperature higher. The CPU averaged between 5 and 8 degrees hotter. By adding a cooler, it dropped those temps right down to high 50s. Have a look at the noise levels with all these builds. With the cooler in place, the noise levels are down to 40 dBA, which is very comfortable considering that both CPU and GPU are flat out. While this cooler isn't ideal for this case due to the blocking of the visuals of the screen, a similar alternative would still provide excellent cooling performance without compromising on much of aesthetics. What's really impressive about this case is its flexibility. You can move heat-generating components to the edges, keeping them away from the more sensitive parts, and then cram an incredible amount of gear inside, like up to 14 SSD slots we have right now, turning what used to be a small form factor case into something much more. Which brings us to the big question: should you buy this case? For most people, the answer is probably a no, or at least not in the way that we've used it. A standard SFF build, or even adding an extra section, is far more practical and could be the perfect fit depending on your needs. But going all out like we did, creating an ambitious and admittedly monstrous case, isn't for everyone. That said, this case is a tinkerer's dream. I feel that we've only scratched the surface of what's possible here. If you enjoy experimenting and refining your projects, it offers endless possibilities to be creative. Personally, I really enjoyed working on it, even with the occasional frustration and confusion along the way. The other consideration is cost. All these parts add up quickly, and since this case is limited to ITX motherboards, there's a ceiling of how much you can expand without adding extra motherboard and completely changing the scope of the build. At the same time, if you're looking to build a large, fully custom PC, the standard ModFree, rather than the Mini, is a great starting point. You can still expand it using the same modular components, offering plenty of flexibility for your dream build. What do you think? Would you push this modularity to the limit or stick with a more traditional build? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Would love to hear your take. Thanks for watching. If you think this case might be what you need, check out the link below for more details. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more. We'll see you in the next one.